Going back maybe about, I'd say 14 years, I was sat in my mum's living room having a conversation with her. And the best way I can describe this is I was having a pity party. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where you have a moment where you just think your problems are the worst in the world. No one else out there is suffering like you. And I was talking to my mum at the time, and she had a newspaper in front of her face. And I don't know if you understand body language. If you're talking to someone and they have a newspaper in front of their face, it probably means that they're not interested in the conversation, they don't agree, or they probably just prefer that you leave, to be honest. But I didn't care. I'd started, I was in the flow. I was having this pity party, and I was saying to my mother about this relationship that I was in. What's wrong with this particular individual? They've done this, they've done that. And I was recounting all of these things and all of these situations that had happened that had led me to feel like an absolute victim. And I remember, I wasn't sure she was listening to me, but I remember I shared a certain element of the story, and I was actually in danger. And at that point, she dropped the newspaper. She had her glasses at the end of her nose, and she just leaned in and looked at me. And I know, although she didn't speak, what she was saying in that moment was, is this really my son speaking? And has he lost his mind? And then she just lifted the newspaper back up. So I continued, and this must have gone on for about 20 minutes. And then at the end, I made this fatal error, and I said, Mom, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? And I must have said this about 6 times. And then she dropped the newspaper for the final and last time. And she leaned over and she looked at me, and this was her last and final contribution to the conversation. She said, what's wrong with her? I'm sitting here wondering what's wrong with you. And then she lifted the newspaper back up again. And in that moment, something clicked in my brain. And I was so glad that she lifted up the newspaper so I didn't have to look at her, because I felt so embarrassed. And what it taught me in that moment, not only did that moment transform my life financially, in my relationships, I was making other people responsible for how I was feeling. I was blaming someone for situations I kept on showing up to. It's a bit like, I don't know if you've ever watched a horror movie. You watch these people in the horror movie and you're sitting there thinking, don't go in the house, don't go in the house. And I go in the house, and at that point I'm always like, I'm out. You've gone in the house, you know what's gonna happen. And that's what I was doing. I was choosing to continue to go back, to turn up to the horror movie, and these things kept on happening. And in that moment, I realized it was for me to take back my power. I had control to make decisions as far as what I would tolerate, what I wouldn't tolerate. And the bottom line is, people, we all have to understand in life, we're responsible. Whatever happens, whatever goes down, whatever comes our way, we need to move away from a victim mentality, and we need to move towards, we are responsible and we are in control. So someone might say to me, well, I didn't grow up with my father. There are plenty of people who didn't grow up with their father who have gone on to smash it and do major things in society, major things in the business world. These things are excuses. You're responsible, it's happened. How are you gonna move forward with your life now? And it's not until you become responsible and you realize that you control your own destiny, are you able to become an adult and move forward in life and do the things that you should do. So that's just a quick, short one from Christian at Winning Without Motivation. Please subscribe, please share the content, and I'll see you soon.